We are looking at polynomial operations today, adding, subtracting, and multiplying our different polynomials. So polynomials isn't a set degree. It could be any equation of any degree. We're going to start by reviewing combining like terms. In order to be like terms, we need same variable and same exponent. We write our answers in descending order, so the highest exponent to the lowest exponent. As we look through here, we see that our highest exponent is x squared. There are two terms. Be careful because that is a negative 4x squared. Since it's to the left, that's going to go with it. So a negative 4 and a positive 6 is going to leave us with 2x squared. We've got 3x and a negative 12x. That is a negative 9x. And then 6 minus 9, negative 3. And then we're done. We can't put those together because we don't have like terms. We have same variables but not the same exponent. When we add and subtract, it's going to be like we've been adding, subtracting all year long. But again, since it's any polynomial, it could be any degree. We're not restricted to just quadratics. I see here that my polynomials are separated by an addition sign. The parentheses are not touching. If the parentheses were touching, that would mean multiplication. Addition really is drop those parentheses. The parentheses are not doing anything for us. And then combine like terms. Highest exponent first. So we see that 6x cubed. And then we got a 4x squared. A negative 7x and a negative 3x is going to make a negative 10x. 3 plus 1 is a positive 4. And notice how our answer is in descending order, the highest exponent to the lowest exponent. Subtraction is always a little bit harder. We notice that our parentheses are being separated by that subtraction symbol. You have to distribute the negative. I'm not just subtracting the first term, I'm subtracting the entire polynomial. So when you distribute that to each of the pieces, the first one is not changing, so we just rewrite that. That negative 5 becomes a positive 5x cubed. The positive 6 becomes a negative 6x squared. A negative x and a positive 10. So just make sure, again, we distribute. So it becomes opposite. That becomes positive, negative, negative, positive. You're subtracting each of those individual terms, and then we're back to combining like terms. Same variable, same exponent. The highest piece first, so we've got that x cubed. The 8 and the 5, that's 13x cubed. We've got two terms that are being squared, a negative 9 and a negative 6. That's a negative 15x squared. 6 minus 1 is a positive 5. And last, a negative 7 and a positive 10 is a positive 3. So just be careful to distribute your negative with subtraction. All right, now we are going to be moving on to our multiplication. We know that we have multiplication because our parentheses are touching each other. We're just using that distributive property. So 2x times 5x, 10x squared, minus 4x. Then we work on distributing that 3, so it's 15x, negative 6. We've got those like terms in the middle, leaving us with 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. A nice review of what we know, but then we change it up a little bit. Now I have a binomial times a trinomial. It's the distributive property just like we've been doing all year long. So I start by distributing the x to all three pieces on the right. So we distribute from the first set of parentheses to everything in the second set. So that gives us 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 6x. Then I've got to distribute the 3 to each of those pieces. 6x squared, 9x, minus 18. Once you've distributed everything, we're back to combining like terms. Highest exponent first, only one of those pieces. I've got x squared terms I've got to put together to get 9x squared. negative 6x and a positive 9 is a positive 3x. And then just that one constant, minus 18. We're going to continue to do a good job with the next set here, reminding ourselves what this means. When I see x minus 2 quantities squared, that is x minus 2 times x minus 2. We go ahead and multiply our pieces out like we've been doing. X squared minus 2x. That's a negative 2x and a positive 4. We combine our like terms in the middle, giving us x squared minus 4x plus 4. So that was our quantity squared. We're changing it up here. Now 2x plus 6 quantity cubed. Just like we don't distribute the squared into each individual piece, we can't just cube the individual pieces. What this means is 2x plus 6 times 2x plus 6 times 2x plus 6. It is that quantity 3 times. Now we can't multiply all 3 pieces at the same time, so you do 2 at a time. Go ahead and we'll start with these first 2. Distribute. 2x times 2x, that is 4x squared. 2x times 6, that is 12x. And then we distribute the 6 to each of those pieces. 12x plus 36. We've got those like terms in the middle, giving us 4x squared plus 24x plus 36. Now that is only taking care of those first 2 terms. I still have another 2x plus 6 that needs to be multiplied in. We just keep on multiplying, we keep on distributing. So we take the 4x squared and we distribute to everything on that second piece on the right there. So 4x squared times 2x is 8x cubed. 4x squared times 6, that's 24x squared. Then we distribute the 24 to those 2 pieces, giving us 48x squared. 24 times 6 is that 144x, and then we distribute our 36. So that's 72x and 216. So we've FOILed out, distributed out all those pieces. Back to combining like terms. We only have one term that is being cubed. We have 2 terms that are being squared, so we go ahead and add those together to get 72x squared. Those 2 terms that have x's, that's 216x, and then our lonely constant with nothing to add together. All right, the next one we see is exactly the same that we just did. We remind ourselves that it's 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2. I want you at this point to pause the video and go ahead and work this out yourselves. This will be a checkpoint for you. When you're done, go ahead, unpause, and check your answer. All right, so go ahead and check your work. Look at each individual piece. If your answer doesn't match mine, look at the individual terms and see where you made your mistake. All right, moving on to the next one. We have 3 pieces. They're just not all 3 the same like the last 2 have been. We treat it the same way. We do 2 pieces at a time. It doesn't matter which 2 you choose. So we start by distributing. 2x times 7x is 14x squared minus 2x. And then we distribute 3 times 7x, that's 21x, minus 3. We go ahead and combine those like terms in the middle. We can't forget to bring down that last binomial for multiplication. And we start our distributing all over again. Oops, that's 14x squared. So we distribute the 14 times the 4 to give us 56x cubed. 14x squared times the 9, that's 126x squared. Then we start distributing the 19. 19 times 4, that's your 76x squared. So watch the coefficients, the numbers, and watch your variables as well, because that's x times x, so the x squared. 19 times 9 is 171x. We distribute the negative 3. Negative 3 times 4 is 12x. Oh, that's a negative. Negative 12x. And then negative 3 times 9 is a negative 27. Once we have everything all multiplied out, combining like terms. We have the 1 cubed term. We combine the x squared, so 126 and 76 is 202 x squared. Those x's together to get 159x minus 27. All right, we're almost done with this. When we turn to the back side, it looks even crazier, but it's not that bad. We are multiplying a trinomial times a trinomial. It is still the same idea. It's distributing all of the pieces from one to the other. So I take the 4x squared times 7x squared to get 28x to the 4th. 4x squared times a negative 3x is a negative 12x cubed. 4x squared times 1 is 4x squared. So take the first piece from the first one and multiply it to the 3 pieces in the second one. Don't distribute within the same set of parentheses. So then I take the 2x. 2x times 7x squared is 14x cubed. 2x times a negative 3 is a negative 6x squared. And a positive 2x. Then we distribute the negative 1. Negative 7x squared, positive 3x, and negative 1. So just keep on distributing. We have the 1 term that is to the 4th power. We've got a cubed there and a cubed there, making that a positive 2x cubed. 4x squared, negative 6x squared, and a negative 7, which is a negative 9x squared. Got those 2x terms getting put together for 5x, and then minus 1. All right, the remainder of this video is shortcuts and tricks, none of which you have to do on anything. It's just to shorten your multiplication processes. So the sum and difference, if I have a plus b and a minus b, think about the difference of squares when we factored. It's really just a squared minus b squared. The plus or minus is going to have those middle terms cancel out. So again, the long way, distribute 4x squared plus 18x, negative 18x minus 81. See how the middle terms canceled? So really what it is it's that first term squared. 2x squared is 4x squared. And then the second term squared. And you are subtracting them. So just a shortcut. Another shortcut is a square of a binomial. So if it's a plus b quantities squared, that is your a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So here it's your a, your b, so your a squared. A times b is 4x, but double that, so that's 8x. And then square your b to get 16. If I am subtracting them, it's the same thing except for it's minus 2ab plus b squared. So again, this is your a, this is your b. So your a squared minus a times b is x times 8, which is 8x, times 2, which is 16. And then you square that b. Again, if that doesn't make sense, forget about it. This is a shortcut to help the multiplication process go faster. We also had those cubes of a binomial on the front page. You can't use this if they're all different, but if it is a binomial cubed, your pattern is a cubed plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cubed. This would be something that you would have to memorize. So I don't feel like we utilize this one nearly as much as the other one, but you do you. So if I have x plus 2 quantity cubed, my a is 1, my b is 2. So that is your 1x. So your a cubed plus 3 times a squared times b plus 3 times a times b squared plus b cubed. And that's your a, that's your b. You're just substituting in for all the a's, get the x's, all the b's, get the 2. So that's x cubed. 3 times x squared times 2, that's 6x squared. 3 times x times 2 squared is 4, times 3 is 12x, 2 cubed is 8. All right, try it with the next one. So go ahead and push pause. All right, go ahead and check your answer. Pay attention to, did you put the pluses and the minuses in the right spot? Go ahead and pause if you need to check further. Our last one, a little bit more difficult because our a is 2x, our b is 5. So having that coefficient with the x is going to just create an extra level. We have the subtraction, so our pattern is your a term cubed, whoop, not plus, minus 3 times a squared times b plus 3 times a times b squared minus b cubed. Do you notice the exponents? It goes 3, 2, 1, none. The other ones go 0, 1, 2, 3. So as one power gets lower, the other one gets higher. Fun fact. All right, so we are cubing this whole term. We're cubing the 2 and the x, giving us 8x cubed. 3 times 2x squared, we're squaring that term. So 2 squared is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, and then 12 times 5 is going to be a negative 60x squared. Next one, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 5 squared. So 5 squared is that 25, giving us 150x. And then last, minus 5 cubed, which is a negative 125. All set.